Well, you only live once, maybe not. And this life right now might be all we've got. So let's contemplate the hereafter while we speculate with some laughter about this grim thing that happens to us all after that final curtain call. But before you take that final breath, let's laugh about.
Welcome to Let's Laugh About Death, the dramedy podcast that celebrates life while contemplating the inevitable. I'm your host, Tim Rooney, and the other day, I had a seizure. Yeah, that's right. Actually, the reason why I'm bringing that up is I felt like being kind of personal, and it wasn't fun, and it was actually kind of scary. It sucks. I didn't know it was happening, and I wake up to my wife, saying, "Are you okay?" And talking to me as like a child. That's the thing. When I come out of a seizure, I'm very, for those of you who've had one, or those of you who know people who've had them, I'm very almost brain shut off. I can't really function very well. She asked me what my cat Orion's name was, and I said, Stacy or something, I don't remember. But she asked me what her name is. My wife's name is Angelique, and I came up with some G.I. Joe character name. I called her Irene Cobra. So wherever the hell that came from. But anyway, the thing that sucks about seizures is that I lose 15 minutes, 20 minutes while I'm coming out of that. And it really is kind of scary because, I don't know what's happening. I've had seizures in the past. Most of the time, I'm sleeping when they happen, and I get woken up. First one was interesting because I got woken up by a room full of paramedics. And, and I remember I'm actually pretty grateful to the woman who kind of talked some sense into me because, she's asking me who the president was, and I said, of course, George Bush, because this was last year. Then I also was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Here I am arguing with a woman in my front yard in my underwear on a gurney going, I'm good. Don't worry. And she goes, okay, well, you know what? When you die, I'll be the one to tell your kid that. And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. Let's go. And so we rode off to the hospital, and by this point, I'm coming to, and I'm, of course, cracking jokes because that's one way that I deal with uncomfortable things is I like to make fun of it. I like to make, funny. And, and I had the doctors and the nurses cracking up. I do that whenever I go anywhere that I'm feeling a little at edge. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone in and found out I actually have some kind of brain thing going on. It's called a... what is it? It doesn't matter. But basically, it's two different hemispheres of my brain, like a little, almost butterfly-looking thing. One side's a little bit bigger than the other. So in other words, one takes over and just kind of causes me to black out and have a seizure. And I do the whole grand mal shaking and all that. Still can't get anybody to videotape it because I honestly want to see it. I mean, it's partially morbid, but also partially morbid curiosity. And but if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know that I have a thing going on. And what's interesting about that whole thing is losing that time, losing the whole concept of reality. I had one at work one time and didn't even know it was happening. I woke up and all of a sudden I'm getting wheeled out on a gurney, and the guest I'm speaking with in this episode had the craziest, most intense experience of that. He died. He clinically died. It's a hell of a thing that he went through, and lived to tell about it. So we get into that. We talk about everything that he experienced, everything that he witnessed. Because here's the fascinating thing is he remembers it. So my conversation with Ron Lumsden is pretty wild. Here's my conversation with Ron.
Hello.
Hey, is this Ron?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, just so you know, just kind of throw you way off guard. I'm already recording.
Oh, all right.
We don't have to put this in. I just figured we'd catch up, and if there's anything, to put in there at this point, we'll use it. So, how you been, man?
Not too bad. Hot down here in Virginia, but
Was it Virginia? For some reason, I was thinking you were in Pennsylvania.
no, I'm down here in Virginia.
That's cool. That's cool. Whereabouts in Virginia was it again?
Newport News.
Newport News. Okay. I lived in, and I don't really know the geography of the area that well, but I was in Manassas for about 4 or 5 months or so.
Okay.
I think that's a little more inland, because you said you're working like in a shipping yard, aren't you?
Yeah, the Huntington Ingalls is the largest shipyard for the military.
Oh, that's cool.
And the oldest shipyard.
That's very cool. So,
yeah, it's a different area, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
A lot of history in the area.
That's so let me ask you this: did you live like on the East Coast at all before, or where? Tell me a little about, because we've only met a couple times. So tell me background, like where'd you grow up, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I grew up in Saginaw, Michigan, on the east side, right off of Holland. Actually, on a street called Spruce. That was probably a house that it's kind of odd growing up in. Weird things. Weird things gone to that place,
I'm sure. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I myself, being from Saginaw, or at least I can say I'm from Saginaw. I didn't move there until like I was about 13, but I lived there until just last year. So I mean, I could say I'm from Saginaw, and yeah, there's a lot of old history, town with a lot of rambunctiousness back around the turn of the century and that. So yeah, I can only imagine, especially in that, where you're at, that was Old Town. That was where stuff went down.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
go
ahead.
Go ahead.
We're going to do the whole go ahead game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a house that was kind of really weird, at the time, youngest of, 2 other kids, would have been 3, but my first brother actually died at birth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was kind of, parents were kind of not lenient at all. I got away with what I wanted to do. Dad worked nights, mom worked nights,
Gotcha.
There was nobody around.
Yeah.
We lived in a big old.
What,
What's that?
What did your parents do?
My dad worked at GM, and my mom kind of bounced around from working at a bank to working at like Don Donuts and oddball stuff,
Okay. But yeah, Don Donuts, that's definitely third shift type of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. That's my mom, she, after my dad died, she or right before he did, she went and got her degree as a nurse. So when we moved to Michigan, that was shortly after he died, she did the third shift thing. So I was the youngest myself. So yeah, we definitely got some in common there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my brother, he was a troublesome person. Got in trouble and always brought weird people over the house, and he had some oddball friends, and he was kind of they're on the dark side, I'd say.
Gotcha.
Into the saint worship and stuff, to a point that I remembered. It was kind of really weird being around him.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a whole. When you're talking dark side, I'm thinking, oh yeah, he got into Motley Crue and stuff. It's like, no, he was.
Well, no, he was. They're pentagram kids, Ouija boards, and
oh wow, yeah.
It was getting in trouble, breaking into houses.
Oh boy. Yeah, definitely on the dark side. Has he turned that around at all, or?
No, he actually got in trouble, went to prison and everything, and he's still kind of an oddball even to today. I've kind of gotten away from him almost completely, I think. So I haven't really talked to him in probably a full conversation in over 20-some years.
Oh wow, yeah, that sucks, because that's your only living sibling.
Oh yeah, I got a sister too, but
oh okay,
I only talk to her randomly. Well, she's still up in Michigan, so.
Gotcha. Okay, when you said you're the youngest of 3, I was thinking the oldest sibling that died. So there would have been 4 of you. The oldest one died at birth, though. Okay.
Yep.
So that's but you say you rarely talk to your sister as well.
Yep.
How about your parents? I mean, are you still in contact with them?
Nope, not anymore. Dad died. He's gone. Mom's up in a home up in Michigan.
Okay.
She's. So we get to see her not being down here. I think like I said, they're kind of, didn't really care what I did. And
Gotcha.
I got in trouble with that. So I just kind of, once I got away from my parents, once I turned 18, my mom took off and she ended up moving up with my brother and my sister-in-law.
Gotcha.
Just left me to actually fend for myself. So
wow. So you kind of
went off on my own.
Yeah, I have respect for people who are able to fend for themselves at 18, kind of thing, because it's it's not easy. I mean, people will not be gentle just because you're a kid.
Oh no, no, you got to work harder than you do.
Yeah, because you're not going to take you seriously or anything like that. So what kind of background you got then? Like, what did you end up going into at, from 18 on? Where did it go from there?
Well, from 18 on, I met my wife now in high school, and
nice.
We were teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
Had our first kid at 18. She was 17.
Wow.
I started working at time was a Saginaw Control up there.
Okay. Yeah.
As a painter, and that's what I've done ever since. I've been in industrial painting. Okay. Now I'm down here doing quality work, with the government and everything. So it's been a road.
Yeah, no, that's and again, I mean, 18 years old, you got a kid, you're taking responsibility. A lot of kids, at 18 years old, they're kids themselves, and they would have just taken off, or barely been in the kid's life, that kind of thing, and yeah. So I mean, how many kids you got now then?
4 altogether.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yep, 4 extremely great kids.
Nice, that's good. So you taught them the right way, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So that's good.
Yep, they got taught the right way. They acted up, they got in trouble. I wasn't going to let them go through what I went through as a kid.
Totally.
I did a lot of stupid shit too growing up, and I'll admit to doing some stuff I shouldn't have done, and some stuff that I should have got caught doing, and I didn't. I got away with it.
Yeah. Well, they haven't found the bodies right. I mean,
that's true. The Saginaw River is kind of nasty.
It's nasty, that's you can hide a lot of shit in there.
Oh yeah.
No, but seriously though, that's awesome. I like to hear, because it's not often when you've got someone who, especially, they're kind of, I don't want to say ignored, but for the lack of a better word, ignored growing up, and B, getting into trouble and have a kid at 18 years old, and then for you to turn it around like that, that's awesome. So
yeah.
But
you got to work hard at that stuff. You just can't give up at it.
No, that's very inspiring. That's the kind of stuff that I can honestly say I probably would have pussied out. I'd have been like, I don't know if I can handle this. So you got, hats off, man. So, but
oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I genuinely mean that. So, I was in my early 30s before I had a kid. So, I already had a chance to screw up and fix it and everything. You were kind of thrown in the deep end of the pool.
Yep.
So
I worked at screwing it up and getting out of it.
yeah, exactly. So, but so you said you're doing the shipyard thing. Excuse me. Tell me a little bit about that. What are you doing there?
Oh, it's pretty wild down here. Working with the Huntington Ingalls. They build aircraft carriers and submarines for our Navy.
Okay.
And right now I'm actually working on, which is a refurbish of the George Washington aircraft carrier.
Oh, neat. Okay. Now, are you doing like the industrial painting on the inside and outside kind of thing, or are you doing something else?
I'm part of the quality control and engineering department, which makes sure that everything sticks to the aircraft carrier, from paint from inside to outside, non-skid, everything.
Nice. How'd you land that?
Whenever there's an issue. I have a what's called the NACE certification.
Okay.
It's engineering. It's actually a corrosion engineer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's my whole background has been paint since I was 18.
Yeah, well, and you've got, I mean, you're close. You're probably around my age. I know. Well, I know you and my wife knew each other way back. Like you guys hung out with the same crowd. So, and she's a couple
back
years
in high school.
Yeah, exactly. So, so you've got 20 some years of experience. So yeah, I'm sure they're going to want that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's very cool. That's yeah, I want to now that we got the background on you, you told me something when we were at one of the Haunted Saginaw events. That was the first time I actually met you. I knew of you because through Facebook or whatever, and but you came to an event and you told me something interesting. I'll give a little bit of an idea. You know what? I'm going to let you say it because it blew my doors off when you told me. So refresh, for people listening, basically, tell me what you told me.
Well, I was dead, completely dead. It was a Saturday, May 14th.
Wow.
Of course, it's got to be after Friday the 13th.
Yeah, really.
I don't remember a whole lot except for what was told to me from that day. I was actually supposed to go to work. Work the typical Saturday thing, going for 6 hours and do oddball stuff, which I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I probably would still be dead.
Still be dead.
Usually work by yourself and there's not a whole lot of people around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What happened was, my wife and her friend were having a yard sale that day because we were actually living in Hemlock, Michigan.
Okay.
It was the area yard sale, garage sale thing. So I'm like, my wife said, no, you decided to stay home and help me and her and Tina, which is her friend,
okay,
set up. So, I'm us out doing our thing, and bringing stuff into the garage, helping set up and everything. And, I went out and I was getting rid of a lot of my collectibles. I was just getting to the point where I didn't want to collect anything no more. A lot of NASCAR stuff and oddball things. And, joking with my wife's friend, I guess. She said we were just having conversations about people and making fun of things,
Yeah.
People come up and you make fun of them as they leave.
Oh, yeah. No, I've worked garage sales and rummage sales, of course. Yeah. One, not to interrupt, but one of the craziest things that I remember from a rummage sale was this woman. I used to do a rummage sale with a couple friends of mine at his parents' house over there on Weiss, so it had a lot of traffic, so it worked, Oh,
yeah.
And this woman came in holding like a little Shih Tzu or something like that in her arms, and on her T-shirt was a picture, a photograph printed on the T-shirt of her holding the same dog. So, yeah, that one, we made a little fun of that, so, but, anyway, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're right. It happens, Yeah.
And there's a couple oddies that came in there, and me and Tina were just making fun of them, I guess. And, I decided, I'm not too much into this no more. I don't feel like, bartering with people, so I decided, I guess, I said, I decided to go in the house, and, it's time my kids are home, which have been my daughter, Courtney, with their oldest daughter, Melissa, our youngest, our son, Jordan. And, they're in the house. We also have a foreign exchange student, Gabby,
cool.
from
Now, how many years ago was this?
Switzerland. This was 2016.
Oh, wow. So just a couple years ago, 2-3 years.
Just 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Just had my third year.
Wow. Okay.
And, I was talking to the kids inside the house, I guess I decided to sit down in the chair and talking to the kids a little bit before they decided to go gallivanting out throughout town and do some more garage selling on their own. My daughters and our foreign exchange student, they decided, go ahead and get a head start. And my youngest son, Jordan, was there. He's like, I'm going to take a shower, because he actually worked with us at the time. We were supposed to go to work together that day.
Okay.
And one of the other reasons that we didn't go into was, I'll add a little bit more into this, is my oldest son, Brandon, and his wife, Brianna, were heading down to Lansing that day to get a baby reveal. And we were having a baby reveal later on in the day.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Like to reveal the sex of the baby, or?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So now, was this like your first grandkid, or?
Oh, yeah. First grandson.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm sitting down in the chair, I guess. The girls are gone. And my boy goes to take a shower. And, the kid, he's probably in the shower for a good, 20 minutes, if not longer.
Okay.
And he comes out from the shower, and he lets out a scream.
Oh, boy.
And I'm completely dead for I don't know how long, but by the time my wife and her friend Tina got into the house and my son back in there, I was gray. I had lost all my body fluids.
Wow.
Everything was gone. I had vomited. Cold, blue, no life whatsoever.
Wow.
So, they started CPR on me.
Uh-huh.
I got lucky because Tina was a certified nursing assistant.
Okay.
Been in the field for 20-some years, so she went to town on me.
I was going to say, she's been around the block on all that kind of stuff, I'm sure. Yeah.
Not to sound perverted, but she went pound town on me. I mean, she just, so did my son. She told him real quick, if she doesn't help, and they go back and forth on this, I'm probably not going to make it.
Wow.
And she didn't know whether to give up or not because of the condition that I was in. She figured that I was dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, gray and no fluids or anything. I mean, honestly, at that point, I'm surprised she didn't just go, it's over. Holy cow.
She wasn't going to because of the kids. And we've been friends with her and just great families. We've been together.
That's awesome.
For like 5 years, 6 years, helping each other out. And she wasn't going to let it go, she said. And Jordan stayed there. And the scenario, from what I understand, it was they were on the phone with 911 and they weren't really getting anywhere trying to get the ambulance there. And they were running through the protocols and everything. And finally, my wife's, she's freaking out, panicking. And for where we lived at in Hemlock, almost right across the road from us, if you've ever been out on M46, was the Covenant Walk-In.
Oh, yeah,
right
okay.
There. So we were basically only maybe 100 yards from it.
Exactly.
So my wife gallivantted over there, flying across the road, goes inside and, tells the nurse at the desk, hey, this is what's going on. And my house is right there and we're having issues. And the lady's like, well, we can't leave. Unfortunately, we got to, and she said, I'm not asking you to. So they ended up calling 911 too. And but at that time, the ambulance were starting to come in. EMTs were getting there, but my wife actually got back as the EMTs were first getting in there. And
had they had any reaction from you at all at this point?
No, I'm still just dead. There's nothing. There's no pulse, no nothing.
Wow.
And they finally get me. Time lapse is probably around up to maybe 47 minutes now. No brain activity, no nothing.
47 minutes?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And so EMTs come in, and they start with the one guy's running up, and he gets to the doorway, and he just yells back to his buddy, defibrillator, grab the defibrillator. Get in here. And, I'm just listening to the reaccount from my family, telling what's going on, and finally, I guess my daughters had come back to the house. We had everybody kind of in the house, too, at that time, and EMTs and the ambulances came in, and they started to shock me repeatedly. It was up to, I think by the fourth or fifth shock, they finally got something.
Wow. I'm surprised they didn't give up.
It became crisis time again.
Yeah.
So they got me on the ambulance was there. They got me on the gurney and such a panic mode. My wife said I wasn't strapped onto the gurney because they were trying to get me out into the ambulance so quick. Almost dumped me off from the gurney.
But I mean,
a little comic there,
Yeah, exactly. But in their defense, it was in your best interest,
Yeah. The weekend at Bernie's thing kicked in there, you think. But, it's the flatliners thing, shit just bumped him around the bureau, fuck it.
Yeah, totally.
So they got me out, got me in the ambulance, and the ambulance was sitting there. My wife's, they're not understanding what's going on, and they wouldn't let her get on the ambulance, so they had to follow with.
Yeah.
And she's just not understanding what's going on. When I was back in the ambulance, I coded again.
Oh, jeez.
I flatlined to get in the ambulance. So CPR was administered again. I was shocked again. And then going on the road, they started incubating me. So then they wouldn't let me out of the ambulance at the hospital right away.
Wow.
They had to make sure that everything was set and ready at Covenant. Make sure that they were ready back in the emergency room, that when I got off, it was emergency time.
Yeah, it was like ready to run you in and do work. Yeah.
Yep. So we got in to the hospital, slight pause, got a little bit of a heart rate going finally again. Went up, the doctors did what they could do in the emergency room, stayed incubated, was in a coma now.
Wow.
They ended up taking me up and checked my heart. Everything was clean. I didn't have a heart attack.
What did you have?
I had a cardiac arrest. Now, there's a big difference between a heart attack and cardiac arrest.
Okay, now, explain that, please, because I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, okay, a heart attack is your plumbing. It's your valves. It's your arteries being dirty.
Okay.
It's them closing off. And a cardiac arrest is the electrical part of your heart.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what led to that was my heart, from what they estimated, was probably beating the lower chamber at over 350 beats a minute, and it seized.
Wow. So you redlined, basically.
Yep.
Wow.
So I'm in the 4 to 6 percentile that lived through this.
I'm surprised it's even that high. I mean, good God, you said 47 minutes. What was the total time because you said that before the EMTs even got there, or when they got there, it was 47 minutes.
Yep, it was around almost an hour.
Holy shit.
Almost an hour. So they said, the good thing was that, they were doing the CPR and they were doing mouth to mouth. You hear, CPR nowadays, they say they don't want to do mouth to mouth. Well, do mouth to mouth, keep the air going into the brain. That's probably saved my life. Yeah,
no, that's exactly, I'm sure. Now, were they noticing like color coming back, and is that what kept them moving on you, or was it just a matter of, like you said, I'm just not going to give up kind of thing?
I think it was a matter of they weren't going to give up.
Yeah, that's awesome. My dad went out very similar, and same kind of situation. My mom is a nurse, but she had a nurse friend over, and they were both working on him, and he ended up going into a coma, but he didn't come out.
Right.
And if you've got... What's that?
I came out of mine. I'm thankful.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he finally just went. My mom was like, Kevin, we'll be fine, and he just went. And,
right.
Maybe your wife was telling you, you're not leaving, you asshole.
Yeah.
You're not leaving me.
Get more stuff to do,
Yeah. But
we're in. It's hospital time, and my family kind of, they let certain people know only. My kids didn't want a whole lot of attention to the situation yet.
Yeah, totally.
And so my son and my daughter-in-law were coming back from Lansing, and they were called on their way back as to what happened. And so the baby reveal, of course, didn't happen that day.
Yeah. What was it, anyways? By the way,
it ended up being a boy.
Nice.
And his name ended up being Xavier Ronald, named after his middle name after me.
Nice. Okay.
Great feeling there.
Yeah, definitely.
Still gives me goosebumps that I almost never got to see him. So.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's almost kind of like, everything lined up. I mean, sure, it was a shitty thing that happened, but you didn't go to work. You didn't, you got worked on because the timing was perfect, and, it was like, you're going to see your grandkid, so.
Oh, yeah.
But, so you said you were in a coma. How long were you in a coma for?
3 days.
3 days, okay.
Yeah, got to come out of it.
Yeah. Now that I've talked to other people who've been in comas, and that's it's different for everybody, and that is a trippy thing from what I understand. Do you remember anything from that?
Shadows, not anything that would be what you think would be reality to a point.
Okay.
You think you see things, you hear things, it's not quite knowing what's going on.
That's okay. The person that I talked to,
just real shadowy.
Yeah, she said the woman that I knew, she said that it was like it was like it being in a dream kind of thing, and you'd hear voices come through, but almost like you said, shadows. She didn't describe it that way, but that makes sense. So, well, that's interesting. But there was something else you told me about this whole situation that I found very fascinating. And because the whole topic of what this podcast is about. Now, let me ask you this. If you don't want to talk about it, I completely understand.
Oh, I will.
Okay. So, what did you see?
I know what your background is, and you've done things. And,
oh, yeah.
I've seen things growing up that's been weird to me, and I've always had the fascination with oddball things. And we always hear, when people die, what do you see? What do you do? You always get there's the bright light bullshit.
Yeah.
There ain't no goddamn bright lights. The lights in your eyes, my flashlight, or in the hospital, unless you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Unless it was your time to go, then you're at peace and you're at rest.
Yeah.
And that's the golden gate part of it, the bright lights, the pearly gate, where you want to see, how people want to say that. But when I hear people say that now, and I've talked to other people that, I've had this experience, and they say, it's a bright light. I got the hover button. I got to see Grandma May, and bullshit. Don't give me that. You think you were there. If you're that happy, you would have went.
Yeah, exactly. So what did you see?
It's dark.
Okay.
It's dark. It's black. I mean, it's evil. It's angry, and it was so damn dark that there was things around you that were darker, and that's what made it so damn eerie.
Wow.
With not knowing what in the hell is going on, not knowing that feeling of anger and what no trust. And then you get that feeling, and now that I look back on it, and I understand what you've gone through and what Steve does, and you start adding that up. In my mind, I sit there and I say, okay, how many times have people ever had a haunting or a spirit or a demon that's ever actually patted them on their back and did something nice to them?
Exactly.
You don't ever hear that story. You hear of the evil ones.
Yeah.
The malevolent ones, the ones that are getting angry. They're angry for a reason, because it wasn't their time to go. There was a reason.
That's exactly. And for all we know, they're people who have not crossed over, who are, like you said, they're mad, they're pissed, and they're stuck here, and they don't understand why.
And they're lashing out.
Totally.
And that's how I felt. And I was lashing at everything. And my wife said, even though you're in coma, you were fighting to do oddball things, and maybe that was still part of that.
Yeah, it might have followed you. Well, let's be honest. What was the last thing you saw before you went into the coma? That place.
That pure darkness. That
pure darkness. And honestly, the night you told me about this story, because you gave me the Cliff Notes version of what you're telling me now, and I went and did some research, and there are people who would refer to this as either the void or purgatory.
And that's what I call it. I was in purgatory.
Yeah, and what purgatory, upon further research, in fact, there was something that I also read from different, sources in that there are beings of light there, but they're so far away, and you have to be willing to attract them to you, kind of thing. And they will be the ones that will bring you to the quote-unquote pearly gates. But you weren't ready to go, so they weren't showing up.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go.
And you were fighting. So, yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's freaking awesome.
And I get that feeling that, if I wouldn't have come back and I would have stayed there, I'd have been one of them evil spirits.
Yeah, because you weren't ready to cross over. And, and that was the other thing, is it would say that sometimes people get stuck there because they're afraid that they're going to be judged, or they're afraid they're going to go to hell, or whatever. Not saying that's what you felt, but you were pissed because you weren't ready to leave,
Right, and you're lashing out.
And so, of course, over a period of time, over 40, 50, 60 years, you're going to become, all you know is anger. So you're going to just start to essentially rot.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people see when they have hauntings. And
totally.
You have somebody that got shot, got killed, there's evil to that, and there's a reason that they don't want to leave yet.
Yeah. There's unfinished business,
and you lash out at the things around you.
That makes sense.
And you make things happen. You maybe you're not trying to do it, but that's your way of communicating. So some people take it wrong, but sometimes it becomes too evil.
Yeah,
and they do lash out and hurt people.
And exactly, because it's probably some kind of connection with some form of reality. by lashing out at things, But that's one thing is you're telling me that if you hadn't have left, we could have possibly done an investigation at your house.
Oh yeah, I'm almost guaranteeing it. It's a very good problem.
Haunting at Ron's house.
Yeah.
But it's sad because I personally think that's but you having firsthand experience, that makes a lot of sense on what it would be, what would cause it. So that is.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer of when people say they're above their bodies and they had the out of body experience. I don't think you were dead, buddy.
Yeah,
I think something was there and something was still triggering. Was everything gone? I don't think everything was gone. I mean, I've read on it now. You do have flashes of memory when you're having issues. If you have brain activity, you will flash.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what a lot of people are seeing. And I was clinically dead.
The fact that it was almost an hour. There's no doubt. Most of the time, they'll just call it after 10 minutes.
Yep.
I mean that's. The other flip side of that is it makes you kind of wonder, okay, well, if you were dead for 60 minutes and they didn't call it, how long do you linger in that state? Do you linger in your body until either A, you go back to like you said, someone got shot, they go to their house and they're stuck there, or are you stuck in your grave until you finally cross over,
Right.
That's some scary shit.
It is, because you don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just dark. And it was evil. It felt evil. And I mean, I have dreams still to the day. I mean, every now and then it's a dark dream.
Wow.
And I'll wake up from it. And I think I told Steve once, I think in a Facebook message, I questioned something because I woke up to something that was standing over me, and it was a dark shadow. And it sticks to me. It gives me goosebumps now thinking about it again.
Yeah.
And it's evil. I mean, it's something that's there still, I think, in the back of my mind. And I've had issues.
Absolutely. So. I personally have seen the shadow type things, through our investigations, but even on, personal non-investigation type stuff. I mean, it's almost like like you said, they're darker than dark. They're not just like black. They're like empty. Yeah.
There's something to them. I mean, when I looked at it, it lunged at me.
Wow.
And it scared me.
Maybe it wanted you back.
And the bad thing is, man, I've come close again.
Well, how? When?
I've actually almost a little over a year. 2017.
Okay.
I got shocked. My defibrillator in my chest. My heart had taken off. Standing in the shower of all places after work. Got shocked. Figuring what the heck is happening? Didn't know what it was. Come out and I looked at my wife. I'm drenched, wet. So I got soap on me yet and everything. I'm like, I think I just got shocked. She's like, what? I said, I think I just got shocked.
So they actually put an implant in your chest.
Yes.
Wow.
I have a defibrillator pacemaker. Well, at the time I had a defibrillator.
Okay.
So I get toweled off and dressed and go to the hospital. And everybody and on the gurney, and the hospital was packed this night, and not a lot going. Didn't have room for me, so I kind of just stayed in the hallway, on the gurney, and they run a test on my defibrillator, and she's like, "Yeah, you're shocked."
Wow.
Your heart rate was well over 300 beats a minute again.
Good God.
I'm like, holy shit, okay, nice, fantastic, So you got shocked once, you can go ahead and go home. I stay there for a few hours, and I feel all right. Yeah, I feel good. Heart rate's back to normal and everything, and still let me go. So I go back to work. And I call make her an appointment, and for Monday at my cardiologist, and we get there and to the cardiologist's office, and they're like, the appointments are all screwed up. We don't know if we can get you in today or not.
Okay.
It's up to you. I'm going to see the doctor, but if you want to see the device nurse, you can probably see her. You can just come back later on and do everything. I said, no, I'm here. Let's get this done now. I don't want to. I left work early. I'm here. Let's get this shit taken care of.
You act like you're having an oil change or something.
Yeah, let's get this done and over with.
Yeah.
So we go back in there, and we go through this. She throws the device on me, and she's running it, and she looks at me kind of. She's feeling all right. I said, I got shocked last week. The dead ones, feeling pretty somewhat normal, I guess. Fuck, how do you want me to feel? Just hold on for a second. And so I looked at. She walks out of the office with her wife and said, "I'm feeling something ain't going to go good here."
Oh boy!
And so next thing you know, and she leaves. She comes back. She goes, "They took X-rays, right?" I said, "Yeah, they took X-rays." So she's like, "All right, hold on." I looked at my wife again. I said, "Oh shit, that was going on," She comes back. She goes, "Well, your device is giving off these some weird numbers." And it ended up being that the lead had become dislodged from my heart.
Oh God!
So I'm like, "Oh," she's like, "So, I'm gonna go ahead and send you home, and but let's keep an eye on this." All right, So by the time we get home, we've already got phone calls on the cell phone that we'd missed, and I'm back in the hospital now. And they decide they're going to have to do surgery again to reconnect this lead. So I'm back in the hospital now. I'm in there till like Thursday or something like that. I get out. They had the surgery on a Wednesday. And then got going the next day, and no surgery. Actually, I was in there for about a week. Actually, adds up right here. On Monday, kept me almost 2 weeks since the phone got out. They had to keep an eye on it. They had to start me on some new meds.
Yeah.
And, so I get out, and we said, there's a football game going on, all between Breckenridge and Merrill. My kids had graduated from Breckenridge, and we had graduated from Merrill. My wife and I coached between both schools in basketball.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a little rival there, So we go and, we're standing there and talking to people, and like my arm's in a sling, and they're asking what happened again. I told them, "Oh my God, Ron, Well, so I told them, game's a blowout. Let's go ahead and take off." Yeah. So we left. We go to Applebee's over there on State. So we're sitting down. We order some food, and there's some other people that were sitting on the other side of the wall right there that we were talking to. Some schoolmates that we went to school with, and family behind me. And I went to eat a nacho, and then I went to eat another one, and I ended up getting shocked again.
Oh, jeez.
And then I got shocked again, and shocked again, and shocked again. And I got shocked 4 times in about a 45-second span.
Wow.
My heart had taken off again, and it didn't want to reset.
So when it shocks it, does it like set it down to a normal, 100 beats per minute kind of thing or something? Yeah,
it's supposed to take you back down to a normal regulated range.
Okay.
And it only shocks you if it's over 250 beats a minute.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like little pulses out.
Yeah.
Mine couldn't. So I got shocked 4 more times and got tossed into the guy that was sitting behind me. He thought I was messing around with him, and his brother was sending he was like, "No, there's something going on here."
Jeez.
And I got lucky at that time. Our waitress was actually an EMT.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she's over there. She's helping me out, calming me down. And next thing you know, I'm getting yanked out of the restaurant on a gurney again.
Jeez.
Spaced out. Just seeing oddball shit going through my head again. Darkness again.
Oh boy. But you were not like dead. You were just in and out.
No, I was in and out.
Okay.
We get in the ambulance, back to the hospital again. So now I'm back in there again, and we're doing surgery again in a couple of days to fix add new line, what they call grounding lines into my heart. So I'm going to have 3 lines connected to my heart to keep my heart from going nuts and crazy.
Jeez.
So I was another week in the hospital, got out, and It was good for a long time, almost another year at least. Say that because then I, we had some issues with some neighbors, across the road. This is what the weird thing is. I got a guy that was maybe 2 houses down from us that had died, and we didn't know it. And I looked at my wife one day, and I just looked at her and said, "You know what? I think that guy's dead." I got this feeling.
Yeah.
And we didn't know the family. We didn't know nothing about it.
You knew nothing about them?
Nothing about it at all. And our daughter had come home, and she'd school with the kids across the road and everything. She's like, "Yeah, Dad, he died on their way back from Florida just the other day."
Wow. It's almost like you've got a connection with the other side and just sensed them.
It was eerie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like looking out the window, and I'm just looking at the house and going, I haven't seen him in a while for some reason. I'm like, and something just came over, and I looked at Carrie, and I'm like, I think he's gone. He's dead.
Wow. That's freaking wild.
Yeah. And, it's I get that oddball feeling every now and then around certain people, and, we'll start talking, and, and I'll say something, like, "Oh, my mom just passed away," and it's like, you get that weird feeling now. It's like a weird void. It's not a good void. It's like a dark, hollow feeling for some reason. That's what I call it. It's not something that I'm proud to feel or that I like to feel.
Yeah. Do you get that?
Scary to a point.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I mean, it's. Do you get that like with people that you've had contact with, or just like just randomly people?
It's random. I mean, it's not all the time. But when I start having conversations with them, and I don't ever tell them what's happened to me. I kind of leave it alone, and I'll kind of work into the conversation. I start getting that feeling, I'll ask them, and it's usually a relative or a close friend that's just passed away within a few days.
Wow.
And it's an oddity. And then we had another kid that was 2 houses down from us again. He ended up killing himself. Took himself out in the woods and shot himself.
Oh, jeez.
It's like the block that we were living on was there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
So mine to him to that one, and it's just like a weird vibe in that the cul-de-sac that we're living on.
That's crazy.
So got away from that.
So everything's better in that regard down in Virginia then?
Yeah, it's Virginia's weird. I mean, Virginia's got a lot of life to Virginia. I mean, you got to think this is one of the first areas that was settled. I mean, there's a lot of history down here. And the shipyards, there's some old buildings down there. It's got some old vibes to it. And, me and the wife, we went to Williamsburg before she went back to Michigan, and we went on one little ghost hunting story adventures,
Okay.
There's the Randolph House in Williamsburg. It's just considered one of the most haunted houses in the United States still.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, I got some weird vibes from that house.
Oh, I'm sure you probably pick up a lot of craziness.
Eerie feelings.
Yeah.
But everything else that they described in there, you just took the folklore with it. But that house right there, it kind of got to me. It was a different feeling.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like you said, it's one of the earliest places settled. In Saginaw, we had a lot of old buildings from, the early 1800s. And on the East Coast, you got stuff from sometimes the late 1600s,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the battlefields.
The battlefields, totally. I lived in Manassas, and there was a big battle there. And sometimes I'd go out in the back and just kind of stand there, and you could just feel the ghosts of the past, so to speak, but literally you could be like, people died all around here. So,
you guys did that stable.
Yeah.
Back in my day of growing up in Saginaw, being 15, 14 years old, being a skater, you hung out around the stable.
Oh yeah.
And, every night we, me and a couple of kids, and there's one kid named Pat. We actually snuck in there.
Oh wow. Back when you were getting into trouble?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuck into the back receiving doors, and I'll tell you, that place is freaking eerie.
It's very eerie. Well, I mean,
sitting there, and it was creepy as shit.
Definitely.
I never want to be in that store again after that. The night that me and Pat stayed in there.
Yeah, no, that was some pretty messed up stuff in there. I mean, well, it used to be a funeral home and all that kind of stuff, and I mean, it is definitely had a lot of just interesting vibe in there too,
Yep.
But and that again, that's Saginaw has a lot of old history, but yeah, I'm sure where you're at now, you're just getting probably all kinds of But
in the house I stay in, I'm in a decent area, but the house that I stay in, it's got a weird feeling to it.
Is it an older place?
No, it was built in like 1998 or something like that. But it's just
the land is still there.
Me and the wife are talking. Me and the wife are talking. It's like the amount of people that have stayed in this house for some reason in the past few years. I get their mail yet, and I've counted like 12 different names.
Oh wow! Yeah,
and it's like, how come people don't stay in this damn house? It's dog goes stupid every now and then. I'm not a big fan of the upstairs at all.
Yeah, there's probably
there's something goes on up there, and we hear noises every now and then, and it sounds like somebody's moving around up there. And told the wife, there's something up there, but don't feel like talking to it yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because the house is only 20 years old doesn't mean there wasn't something there before. I mean, that's who knows what was there beforehand that got torn down to make make that place. That it's and if you can feel it, and I'm sure, like I said, you're a little more in tune now, I'm sure. And if you don't want to go up there, you don't want to talk to it yet.
I get my ass pushed down the steps or something that don't like me,
Yeah, totally, and that's the last thing you need. So, and in fact, in terms of health and everything, now, before you had that, the big one that dropped you for an hour, did you have health issues before that, or what? Where did that come from?
That's the odd thing is, a month prior, I just did our work, physical exam.
Wow.
And they're like, the doctor's doing my exam, and she's listening to my, and she's like, And she said, you got something going on there. So they go in and they get the EKG out, and they run the test and everything.
Yeah.
We're going to send you to the hospital and let them look at you. So I go to the hospital, and they're doing a run on my heart, and they're like, nah, it could be all right. You might have to, maybe a couple years from now, you might have a stent or something put in.
Jeez.
But, you're good.
That's some
and then
scary
a month later,
shit.
there I was.
Yeah.
They're in bed.
Not only did you have
just the valve, it was electrical. It was, my heart was just what my family doctor finally said. It was probably your heart racing, and it slowed down. It racing and it slowed down, and it was just a pre-catch of it.
Yeah.
And they just didn't react on it like they probably should have.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I don't blame them for that. They go and they do the test. It's just.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's exactly. I mean that, and you do hear about that, and sometimes they catch something, and sometimes they don't.
Yep.
I mean, they're still human,
Yeah.
But no, that's cool that you have that attitude, because some people would be like, "Oh, I'm going to sue them," because it's like, well, but you're not that kind of person, and and so, but there are people out there who, would sue over something like that. So,
yeah, it's world full of that, it's just not getting into that political part of things,
totally.
It's just how the world is.
Yeah,
and that sucks, There's other things that go on in this world that it's worse than what that is, so I'm not going to try to take somebody's livelihood from them.
Yeah. That's definitely for sure. There's a lot of craziness going on lately. But, no, that is such a wild story, though. I mean, the fact that you were gone, not just in a coma, you were dead for 60 minutes and came back and didn't really enjoy your trip. So
it's not a return trip that policy that one on this one.
Yeah. That's hopefully when it does happen, because it does. I mean, it happens to everybody. Hopefully when it does happen for you, it's your time and you're ready to just go through and see that, grandma and the pearly gates.
Yep.
So
I got another part to add onto this with you.
Yeah, please do.
Remember at Covenant a few years back when there was a guy that ended up pulling a gun out in one of the rooms.
I don't know if I heard about that. No.
Right, that was my room.
What?
Yeah, there's a guy. I just got released that day, and the guy that was in the room with me pulled a gun out. He had a gun in the room with him.
Wow.
And shot through the wall. They had to do a complete hospital lockdown.
Wow. Did they end up like putting him away? What did he get?
Yeah, he got arrested and everything, but that was my room.
Wow.
He was the guy that was in the opposite bed from me by the door.
Wow. It's almost like you've got some kind of like charmed thing, but like sick charmed. It's like we're gonna let you just barely escape a bunch of shit.
Now, if you want to go to, what show was it? The Haunting on Dice Road. The one following that in Hemlock there, you guys did.
Yeah, the Dice 2.
Dice 2. Okay, so now I go back into the hospital that week.
Huh.
Because I go into AFib. Now my upper part of my heart is going nuts now.
Oh, jeez. Was it again the wires hooked up, like two of them were working, one wasn't, kind of thing?
Nope. It was my upper part now was going crazy. My upper chambers were beating like crazy, so they ended up doing surgery again and changed my device out again into a pacemaker defibrillator. So that way my heart doesn't beat too slow no more, because it went slow, then it was quivering so bad it made the lower chambers go nuts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. What they ended up doing is they ended up what's called a cardioversion. So they ended up shocking me, stopping my heart, put it back into rhythm.
Wow.
And they did that to me twice on that Friday night or Saturday night of your show. Friday night of the show. So I actually got cardioverted, flatlined at the hospital twice, and still made it to the show.
That's wow. Well, we are definitely honored that you you at least put off dying so you could come see the show.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna miss it. Yeah. And that's how all it started. And that's when you guys started doing the stuff at the church and everything. Doing at the church.
Yeah, it was after that movie, exactly.
That time frame.
That's wild. In fact, it was that thing at the church a week or so later that is when you told me about you dying in that. Yep. So, and honestly, I thought you said like 22 minutes, which I thought was staggering. When you said 47 and then an hour, I about shit myself. I'm like, damn.
Yep. Yeah. Once I got the timing down from the family, it was close to an hour, because out of everything that happened in today's times, you think about it takes pictures and they film shit, and that was one thing that my kids did not want. They didn't want me taking pictures of me. I have one picture of me in the hospital, incubated, that a family member, Tina, the one that helped save me. There's no videos. There's only one other picture, and that's of my son's holding my hand when I was in a coma.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had there's only two pictures from that time. That's it.
No, that's good.
And there's some Facebook posts that got made. It's when my wife and I telling some people, and they put it out there because media. That was a way of contacting everybody. But it was a few days afterwards. It was nothing. I mean, immediate family knew, and my employment knew it's what happened. But no, there was no pictures, no videos. And you think that I made that comment one day. I said, out of everything that happened, I said, we filmed that shit.
Yeah.
And my kids are like, "What?" I said, "I'm just asking, because how the world is." And it's like, and I respect them for that. They said, "No, we don't want to film that."
Yeah, no, that's I see.
It's morbid, but yet you look at there's people out there that still do that stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Somebody gets shot and they're dying. They want to film that.
They want to film it, or I've seen pictures where kids are taking selfies in front of their dying grandmother in their bed and all that. It's like, come on, really? You got to use that as some attention getter.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And I just said I was so impressed with that out of my family that they didn't take no pictures, no lease edited. Let's go Facebook Live.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, check out Dad. Yeah, that's so morbid when people do that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
But people are so obsessed with getting attention, and anything that they can do to do that. And if it comes to the misfortune of a loved one, but hey, it looks cool, it's sick.
Yeah.
No, that is cool that your kids didn't do any of that nonsense.
Yeah. So my family's been great. I mean, to make this life change, from what I've been doing the last few years to get up and move down here to Virginia, and I'm basically by myself. My family's still up north. My wife's still up there. She comes down.
Are they going to move down there at some point?
We have a house in Michigan yet that we actually purchased just after we'd made this move.
Oh boy!
And I made the job change because the employer that I was with was just too stressful, and I just didn't. I'm at work. My heart rate's 140, 150.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get out of this. And I just made the choice and said, this. I looked at coming down here before, and they offered me another job, and I said, well, I'm gonna take this. The family wasn't happy about it at first, but and I said, I'm not trying to get away from you guys as a family, by no means.
Yeah.
But the job's too short. In Michigan, I love the state. There's nothing in. The work there is so hard to come by.
It's so hard. That's
you know that.
Yeah, that's largely why I left. That, and there was just it was such a downer. It was like the last 30 years the state has been going down because of GM pulling out. Yep. But then even more than that, it's like people don't want to try anything new. So businesses would come in and they'd fail because people were like, oh, I don't know what that is. I don't want to try anything different. I don't want to spend my money, et cetera, et cetera. So nothing could survive. Yeah,
and you can't do anything in the state. You can't get to the lakes. It's all privatized.
Yeah, exactly. Or if it's open, like in Bay City, the beach is disgusting.
Yeah, it's trash. It's gross.
Yeah,
you don't want to be there. And we met, and I made this move down here. And it's actually worked out good. I mean,
no, that's awesome.
It's a beautiful area. I mean, and I don't get to be around my family as much, but try talking to them as much as possible. But it's, I get that feeling some days. If something happens to me down here, I'm by myself.
Yeah, that is scary. I mean, that's.
I'm only just 3 years from flatlining.
Yeah, and not just flatlining, from being dead.
Yeah. Dead.
I mean, there's flatlining, and then there's like gone.
Yeah. And I still get the dreams, the nightmares. Even down here by myself, I wake myself up.
Yeah,
it's an eerie feeling some days.
I'm sure. I can only imagine. I mean, I wouldn't even have any kind of perspective, from that side of things. I mean, the only encouraging thing I can say is, something happens.
Yeah.
Something happens, and there is something after that when you do pass through. I mean, at least that's what that's what people have said, and people who have, because there are people who are able to communicate or maybe have gone, and who knows. But I will say this: I had a friend die last year, a little over a year ago, and he was completely agnostic, damn near atheist, and I was at a concert. Right. With Angelique, my wife, for those who don't know her. Yep. And all of a sudden I got this wild feeling, and I've brought this up before, but it's like almost like I call it a cosmic text message. I got this feeling from him like, holy shit, we're fine. Everybody's going to be fine. It's going to be just cool. Right. And then I just went back to enjoying the concert because I went to the concert to get my mind off shit. I found out that morning, and I was going to not go, and then it was like, no, you know what? I got to get out of here. And so we went, and I just enjoyed the rest of the concert and just kind of chilled, but, yeah, I mean, and like I said, and of course, was it my mind telling me? Sure. Was it my mind telling me, the pearly gates, et cetera, all that kind of stuff, but it was just different, Yeah. Because he would be the least person I would expect to even, expect anything, but knowing my friend, he would have been like, yeah, sure, fuck it, let's see what's going on, and he would go through and then just be like, holy shit, let me send a message back. Yep. So that kind of put me at ease a little bit, and it almost seems like you were almost there and said, no, I got unfinished business. Whereas he was like, yeah, screw it, I'll check it out of curiosity, Yep,
and that's the feeling I get. Like I said, when you do investigations, and I work next to a guy that's does the same thing down here. He wants me to go out with him, and nice. I don't have an issue with that at all.
You might really have some issues only because if you get weird feelings when you suspect someone in the neighborhood died, when you're around places that they're having activity, and you're purposely trying to communicate with it,
it could become bad.
Yeah, it could for you, definitely. It could for us, too. That's one of the things we, take a chance. But you're almost like a magnet now.
Yep.
And
it's like I've said, and I had this conversation with him. I said, from my perspective, like I say, how many hauntings have you heard where you got Casper up in there? Casper, the friendly ghost of my ass, he was sitting on that girl.
Exactly.
A little pervert.
Yeah, really.
That dude was trying to get something. Ain't no damn friendly ghost.
Yeah.
Even he had an evil part to him.
Totally. He was looking for a little
200-year-old guy hitting on a little 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, totally. Trying to get some interdimensional nookie.
Ghost my ass. Yeah. So ghosts and spirits are evil to a point. There's a reason. Like, so you never hear the nice ones. Oh yeah, dude, fucking made breakfast for me. You don't hear that shit. It's always something else throwing fucking dishes at you.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, there's this last investigation that's coming out in the next movie. There was some, some, like you just said, they're not trying to do something nice. Like you said, they're not trying to make you lunch, breakfast, whatever. Yep. Yeah. It's and if anything, if they're trying to, there could be some speculation that they're trying to get you to join them, so they got some company.
Yeah, and that's the way it feels sometimes. And in my nightmares, that's the way it seems to be going sometimes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that new investigation. You guys, that's the school right across the road. That's the tunnels. That South School right there, the old South High School, junior high. That's a wicked area.
Oh yeah. That's totally that. Well, I don't want to give it away, but definitely.
Yeah,
well, and we got them on Amazon, so just check it out on Amazon.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's and if you want, I'll get a hold of me. I'll send you a DVD. I'll get I'll get Steve to get me one, and we'll send it down to you, kind of thing. Because I'm not in the area. Huh?
Oh, I'm coming back up.
All right,
I'll be back up there for it.
Well,
it's already been told. Me and my wife, that's our one thing. I will be back up to Michigan for the shows. That's
so awesome. Well, I mean, hell, if you push off dying to come to a premiere, the least you can do is come from Virginia.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that is a big honor, man. That really is. So, but
we missed the first show. That was it. That's all we've ever missed.
That's very cool. So, you got a copy of that one?
Yes, we do actually now.
Yeah, that's right, because we didn't have that one on DVD even at the first premiere. It just didn't work out. So, but very cool, very cool. Well, hey, Ron, this has been a fascinating conversation. I mean, you giving me all the details of what happened in the play-by-play, so to speak. I mean, that is just freaking wild, man. It's.
Yep.
Like I said, my reaction when you said 47 minutes, I literally was just like, "What?"
Yeah. When I first talked to you, I didn't go into full detail.
No, we didn't have time.
No.
Yeah, that was. I mean, because I think you told me like I said, the abridged version of 5 minutes. So, but well, hey man, I am so glad that you you took the time to talk with me, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, I will see you at the premiere because I'm planning on going up myself.
Are you good? Good. It'll be good to see you and Angelique coming up too, I assume.
She might. It's just a matter of how circumstances work out, kid in school, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm planning on being up there. So unless hopefully I'm not flatlining or something.
Don't do that to us.
Yeah, really. So. Well, hey Ron, again, I appreciate it, man. I will talk to you in the near future, and get a hold of me anytime.
Oh yeah, sounds great, buddy. I will do that.
Definitely. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for this. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fucking crazy. I can't believe he talks about it so nonchalantly. As like I said, as if he had an oil change. I mean, he just completely says, "Oh yeah," and then I flatlined and I puked and I was gray and lost body fluids and they worked on me and then they brought me in and that's a brave motherfucker right there. So very cool. And that's it for this week. Until next week, have yourself a good day and have yourself a good life. And I fucked that up.